If a secret hurts your heart, it's not meant to be kept.
If you would like to learn about fairy folklore, delve into modern fairy faith spirituality, and explore fun and fanciful fairy-themed events, please subscribe to Fairy Fortunes for new videos every Friday.
Hello, my fair friends. I'm Ruby Ruse, and on today's episode of Fairy Fortunes, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Witch's Pyramid. The Witch's Pyramid is actually not a physical thing. It's more of an edict or a metaphorical construct. And the tenets of the Witch's Pyramid are to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent. I struggled for a very long time with that final edict of to keep silent. The reason for this was that God bless my parents. They did the best they could, and I love them for it, I do. But we had a lot of secrets in our family, and not the good kind. I tell young children, I did this with my son, and I do this with other children that I've met in the course of my life through my former occupation and even in Fairy Fortunes doing divination at festivals and encountering children. I say to them, if a secret hurts your heart, it's not meant to be kept. And in my childhood, the secrets that I had were ones that hurt my heart. But that is the tragedy of family dysfunction, is that you do have those secrets that are hurtful to keep. And there's no one really there where you can discuss these things. I grew up in a different era. I really have great respect for the Gen Z generation because I feel like they're changing unhelpful patterns of behavior. I mean, they have their issues, every generation does, but I feel like Gen Z is forcing change. And one of the things that we see, and really we have kind of the millennials to thank for this, is that therapy is becoming accepted. It's almost to the point now where it's unusual if you don't go to therapy, or if you've never been to therapy, or you've never been to see a counselor of some kind. So I find that to be motivating. I find that to be uplifting for me, because in my childhood, I was forced to keep these secrets, and there wasn't anyone that I could talk to about feeling bad about that and not knowing how to change and not really knowing that there was a different way of being. So I don't like keeping secrets. The other thing is that one of the things that the fairies have taught me in the course of my work with them in my fairy faith practice, it's not that fairies can't lie. They can, but most generally speaking, they choose not to. They choose to tell the truth. They don't keep secrets, if you will, because it's seen as a weakness. If you're operating from a position of power, you can tell the truth. And it's only when you're in a weaker position that you have to lie. So a fairy will generally speak the truth because then they are coming from a place of power and strength. And not speaking, keeping silent, keeping the secrets, if you will, can be a form of lying. So I didn't like it. I was like, I want nothing to do with that. Blah. I'm going to just talk about everything all the time. And and that was another thing. In childhood, I kind of got in trouble because I was kind of the label that I was given in my dysfunctional family. I love my parents. I love my family, but I'm sorry, they're dysfunctional. A little bit of a truth bomb there. Bunny Mom! They called me the antagonizer because I was always asking questions. I was always speaking the truth, if you will. So I was a little fairy for them. I was with the fairies even back then. That was always my role, is that I was always shaking things up, and I was always like making things difficult for them because I wanted the truth. I didn't want there to be secrets. However, I've kind of changed my mind a little bit, let me rephrase. I've come to a conclusion that there's a time and a place. And my Gen Z son, he's amazing, love him. He's, hopefully, a lot less dysfunctional than I am. I wish I could take full credit for that. I really can't. But anyway, he's just kind of a cool kid. But anyway, he had me read this book, and it was really amazing. It's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. Highly recommended. And one of the things that they talk about in this book is the idea is that you don't really want to give away everything that you're working on right away. Because if you start talking about your plans, if you start talking about the things that you want to manifest, if you will, let's put it into a magical terminology there, is that the moment that you put it out into the universe and you share it with another person, your brain does this thing where you've almost created a pocket universe in your mind where it's already done because you've unleashed it. So I think maybe the edict to keep silent is to let yourself germinate things, to be in that place of the dark seed that hasn't breached the ground yet. And coming from that place of, I am going to talk to you about that. I do want to tell you what I'm working on, but I need more time to germinate. So I'm working on that right now. Over on my Instagram page, I did post a picture of a spell that I'm working on. And one of my favorite creators that I'm just thrilled follows me on Instagram. Beanbag Hagwed made a comment. She's like, oh, I've never seen you do a spell before. Spells take a lot of work for me, so I don't really do a lot of them. I don't do a lot of spells, although I do feel like I live a magical life. With my spells, though, I did post the picture of the spell, and I said that I'm working on this cool thing. But that was all that I said. I haven't talked about what exactly I'm working on. I've only said that I'm working on a something. And I'm not lying. I'm not lying, and I'm not quite keeping a secret. I'm just taking more time to germinate. And the way I'm looking at it is I don't want to create that pocket universe where I don't have to put any effort into it, because in this pocket universe that I'm not living in, that I'm not present in, that I've already done it. I want to be more present. And in order to do that, I feel like I need the silence. I need that time underground to germinate. And that way, if I'm underground, I'm still here and now. My mind isn't split into a universe that I'm not living in. So I do think that when it comes to manifesting something in this world, is that there is a time and a place to share your plans. And I'm at a place now where I can start enjoying holding on to things, that I can have those secrets that don't hurt my heart, that make it sing. And very soon, I'm going to share with you a beautiful song, but I'm still working on it. I'm still writing it. But I'd like to know your thoughts. Have you ever heard of the Witch's Pyramid yourself? Are these tenets to know, to will, to dare, to keep silent, are these things that you feel are important in your own magical work or in your process of planning and manifesting things? Let me know. And with that, have a magical day.